The public school system is designed to turn your kid into a wage slave. That's the bottom line. But yet, most of you are against school vouchers here in Texas. And I wanted to talk about that. Our governor just keeps calling the Texas legislator back over and over again in order to be able to bully them into school vouchers. But I wonder if any of y'all really have thought about this. It's common knowledge that the banking system designed our public school system and the way that it should operate in order to make complacent employees that do what they are told, do not think for themselves, and will not challenge the 1%. That is the structure to this day. And for a lot of parents, they don't have a choice. It's either send their kids to public school or they don't get an education. And so they're worried that the public school system is going to get basically not going to have enough funds because all the funds are going to go to private schools and in order to teach their kids. But at the same time, these are the same people that are complaining about how schools have astronomical bond spending and cannot really account for where the money's going and cannot pay teachers a living wage and cannot produce the right teacher to student ratios in classrooms, which studies show give a better quality of education, kids do better, and they have a better chance to succeed. And on top of all of that, your school system is designed to teach your kid to shut up, sit down, don't ask questions, don't think for themselves, don't cooperate, and that there's only one right answer. But most of that is very contradictory to what it takes to succeed in life. In life, you need to work together. There's more than one right answer. You need to think outside of the box for solutions, but the education system doesn't allow you to think outside of the box. So from where I'm sitting, it's like the public school system is this giant monopoly that answers really to no one, can spend all it wants, and isn't really responsible for that money that's being spent. And it kind of reminds me of when AT&T was this huge monopoly and the government decided, okay, we're going to break you up. And the AT&T was like, no, if you break us up, everything's going to be ruined, service is going to be worse, and you're not going to have very many options. But exactly the opposite happened. Innovation flourished. More options came about. Technology was able to be made and used. Technology we appreciate today, like the internet, could never have been possible if we wouldn't have broken up AT&T. And so here we have the public school system, and it's a monopoly. And because it's a monopoly, it's wasteful. And it's not very efficient. And it neglects its responsibilities to students with disabilities and keeps postponing and postponing and creating all of these unnecessary hurdles just for the kids with disabilities can get the services they're supposed to be legally required to be able to have. And it's all because they're a monopoly and they don't really answer to anyone. So I feel like school choice and school vouchers is going to break up this monopoly, and it's going to make it where tons of innovation can happen and tons of opportunity can happen, and your kid doesn't have to be part of this forever experiment of making society complacent to the 1%, complacent to the banking industry. It's like we don't even teach kids where money comes from or how money works, But it's the most important thing. Everything runs on money. The entire society runs on money. They're going to have to make money and pay bills. We don't even teach them how to do that. The basic thing of what it takes to be a functional adult in a working world with a job or a career or whatever. You're going to have to spend money. We don't even teach that in public school. Why? Because the 1% doesn't want you to know. They don't want you to think for yourself. They don't want you to know how money works. They don't want your kids to think for themselves. And our education system does one thing very, very well. It educates our kids out of their creativity. And the evidence is there. And it's been there for a long time. So I'm thinking about all these things and I'm like, why would we not want school choice? Why would we not want vouchers? And the biggest argument is, well, we only have one school in our county. Well, here's something most people don't know. There's a little law in Texas. It's called the Texas versus Sleeper Law. And it was not put in place by the legislator, and it wasn't signed by the governor at the time. It was put in place by a judge because Texas sued the Leeper family. They countersued for this language to be law. And that language says that anyone can create a school. Anyone can be an educator. And the educator can determine what is a high school diploma, equals the amount of education for a high school diploma. Under the Texas versus Leeper law, a group of families can get together, form a school, and file for an EIN number, which is free from the IRS. File with your county for a doing business as, get a bank account, and now with a voucher program, instead of money going through a wasteful, big, huge school system that doesn't know how to manage things and doesn't have the responsibility to manage things because they don't have to compete, you now could get together and have the funds for a very good education for your kids. And different parents can get together and be teachers for different parts of the school. And it can be done out of a home. It can be done out of a small building. Hell, you'll probably get enough money to rent a building with the kind of money that can come from a voucher program if parents got together and started their own schools. And under the Texas versus Leeper law, it's totally legal, and it is equaled in its legal, the diploma and the legal, what's the word? Damn it. The legal standing is the same as a high school. And this can be done. Very easy. But most people don't know. And so they're worried that the only school in their county is a public school. And what's going to happen if it gets defunded because kids start going to private schools? Well, you can create your own private school. It's super simple, and it'll cost you like $40 to do a doing business as name with your county. And then there you go. Choose your books, choose your materials of what your educational system is going to teach, and there you go. It's not like the old days where you had to order thousands and thousands of books. You can order just what you need. And then the other argument I get is like, why would we sponsor these religious schools? Why would we spend government dollars on religious schools? And it's like, we're already funding religion. What do you think 501c3 churches are? They don't pay any taxes. So the taxes they're not paying, we're already paying. So we're already subsidizing religion. So that's a non-argument. So for me, I'm like, I could send my girls to a really good private school with that funds. I wouldn't have to worry about my daughter that has disabilities being neglected in school. But I have to worry about that now. So for me, it's a non-starter. School vouchers is something I can support, and I think everyone should, because the 1% needs to stop owning us. The education system is designed to make us wage slaves. Don't let your kids be that.